Hello Year 1 and welcome to your Week 9 Thursday reading lesson. Today we're going to be making text-to-self connections with our colour critter friend Meerkat. Our Walt today is, we are learning to make text-to-self connections with books we read. We know we are successful at this skill when I can make a connection to a character or event in a story I have read. So remember, a connection is a link that you can make. So text-to-self connections are links to characters or events in the story that we are reading. So what do good readers do? Good readers make connection from the text or a book they're reading to themselves. Meerkat loves to talk about himself. He loves to talk about me. When he reads books, all he thinks about is me, me, me. He says things like, this book reminds me of, I remember when or I've been to, while he is reading a book. So let's read this story, Chip the Lifeguard, and make text-to-self connections. I might stop at different points and make connections from the story to my own life. I hope you do the same thing as you're listening. At the end, you'll be writing down some of those connections. Chip the Lifeguard by Kylie Howarth. Chip, unlike most other girls, had his heart set on becoming a lifeguard. It all began with a double dip, a missed flip, then a crash, and a splat. This reminds me of a time when I went to the beach. I went to Mona Vale and I got tumbled in the waves and I went splat on the bottom of the sea floor. His life was saved and his mind was made up. Chip would become a lifeguard, just like his hero, Jess. And there's Jess on her surfboard rescuing Chip. There'd never been a gull lifeguard before. A gull is a short word for seagull. And here we have a little seagull saying, aren't they meant for budgies? And Nugget, have you seen my swimmers? Grrr. I think someone has lost their swimmers. And Chip couldn't join the lifeguard team because here is Nugget looking at the rule book saying, no gulls. And there is Nugget chasing away poor Chip. Grrr, no gulls. Woof, 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 woof. Chip was miserable. Does this remind you of something in your life? Maybe you couldn't have or do something and that made you a little bit sad. He was miserable until he realized he had nothing to lose and decided to try out anyway and practice. And look, there he is practicing to save a seagull from an esky and hatch a cheeky plan. His friends helped him prepare. And look, there is Chip writing down all the tips about being a lifeguard. Lifeguard tips. Always swim between the red and yellow flags. Let's find out what his cheeky plan is. Ha! Look, he's dressed up as a lifeguard. And here's a little seagull saying, I hope that dog is gullible. That means I hope that the dog believes anything that he hears. Chip was disguised and ready for the big day. Let's see if he makes it as a lifeguard. He snuck up to the starting line. On your marks, get set, go! They dashed and dived for flags. They surfed and scrambled for waves. This reminds me of the time that I was running along a beach. It's very hard to run because the sand sinks as you run. Oh no, Nugget, he's realised it was a seagull in disguise. Chip dropped in and then got dumped, and all his disguise has fallen off. Nugget chased poor Chip away. But look, he's flying. But Nugget the dog is running into water, and it says danger, rip current. That's a terrible place in the ocean where water can trap you because there's two different currents moving, and if you get caught in a rip, it's very hard to get out. Will Nugget get trapped? There's Chip. Chip's dreams had drowned. He thought he'd never become a lifeguard. When all at once, Chip spotted something in the sea. Help! What has happened to Nugget? Chip zoomed to the rescue. He tried to pull Nugget to shore, but he couldn't get a grip. He called his friends for help, but the rip was too strong. They needed more help, and fast. Chip flapped and squawked for the lifeguard. But look, the lifeguard is busy giving someone a high five. But Jess was too busy to notice a pesky seagull. Luckily, Chip knew another trick. And look, he's trying to steal someone's nuggets, not the dog nuggets, chicken nuggets. That stole the lifeguard's attention. And he is just finally noticing that Chip is pointing out to sea. And she sees Nugget out in the water that's surrounded by the other lifeguards. Chip led the way and Jess paddled furiously. And look, she's swimming in between the rip to get to Nugget to rescue him. Do you know what, you won? I can make a connection to this part in the story. My dad was once caught in a rip. I was younger, maybe I was about 10, and he was out in the ocean swimming, and he got trapped in a rip when he was on a boogie board, and he didn't know how to come back to shore. Luckily, there was another bodyboarder, a young child, probably about 12 years old, and he grabbed my dad's strap on the bodyboard and pulled him back to shore. And my dad was so grateful that he got rescued by someone. So that's my connection. My dad got trapped in a rip. So, Jess paddled furiously through the barrel and safe between the flags where people can swim. On the board, they swam to the shore. The gutsy gull was hailed a hero, and we have people going, Chip, Chip, hooray! And he even landed on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Chip had finally become a lifeguard, just like Nugget and Jess. Did you make any connection to the text as I was reading it? I hope you did. You're now going to click on Add Response on this reading activity, and you're going to write events in the book in these boxes. In these boxes, you're going to write your connections. How did you link your life to this text? Here were my examples. The first one was that Chip is in the water at the beach, and I remember the feeling of being in the sea water in summer when I go to the beach. Here we have another link. Nugget was caught in a rip. And I remember when my dad was caught in a rip and was rescued by a young boy. So that's it, Year 1. Good luck with making connections to the text. I hope you've made lots of great connections. Put them onto the Seesaw page and submit it for your teacher. Have a great day, Year 1.